Today's notes, we're going to talk about the sea floor. So that's your heading, sea floor. All right, the sea floor has a bunch of features, as you can kind of see here. It's not just a flat area, okay, like a swimming pool, but there are features just like there are on land. And shorelines can be different. I would like you to write down, all of this. We'll start with the continental shelf, an extension of the continent that extends beneath the ocean. So basically what it is we go from land to where it starts gradually going into the ocean. If you've ever been to the ocean or even a lake, it's kind of similar. You can walk and maybe your feet are just covered with water on the beach, and as you walk in, it gradually gets deeper and deeper. If you're on the ocean, that's the continental shelf. On the East Coast and the Gulf, it's a very gradual continental shelf, so you gradually get deeper and deeper. On the West Coast, it drops off pretty quickly, mainly because there's the San Andreas Fault there, which kind of causes it to drop off. So if this is land, okay, this would be like the West Coast. It gradually goes down, then drops off. The East Coast, it would be like a gradual before it drops off. Go ahead and write this down. Continental slope, the end of the continental shelf where it dips steeply in to the ocean floor. So it's gradual, then it drops off. If you've ever been walking on the beach of a lake and you're walking in water maybe knee deep and all of a sudden it just drops off, okay? That's kind of similar to what we're talking about. The continental slope, it just suddenly drops off and gets deeper. Abyssal plain, I'd write this down. A flat sea floor deep in the ocean. Just like South Dakota is covered with a lot of plains, it's a flat area. So there are areas where it's flat. I would write this down. Rift, it's where the ocean floor is pulling apart. So if this is one plate and this is another plate, okay, if they're pulling apart, okay, and maybe magma or lava is bubbling up there, okay, that would be a rift, basically a crack in the floor. A ridge, I would write all this, occur along rifts. Lava comes up from these cracks and forms underwater mountain ranges. And if it gets above the water, it's an island. So where those two plates pull apart, if magma bubbles up and cools and hardens, it's going to form underground mountain ranges, which is a ridge. And if it does it enough, it'll eventually pop out of the water and it'll be an island. The Hawaiian Islands are an example of this. They started out at just a rift with magma bubbling up and hardening, and over a long time they became an island and islands. The Galapagos Islands, if you remember about Darwin, was the same way. Magma bubbling up, building up over a long period of time, and making the Galapagos Islands. Actually, the longest mountain range on Earth is underwater. It's called the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. Okay, it goes from Iceland here, so here's Africa, South America, North America, Iceland here, and it goes all the way through the Atlantic Ocean, just like this. It's following the faults where plates meet. Yeah, I might want to write this down. The Mid-Atlantic Ridge is between the U.S., Europe, Africa, and South America. Trenches, I'd write this down. A trench occurs where seafloor crashes into each other and one gets pushed down. So we have two plates hitting each other, and one is going to get forced under the other, and it's going to make this big, deep area called a trench. Maybe you've put in electricity to something, had someone come out and use a trencher. It looks like a big chainsaw on like a mower, a little tractor thing. Okay, that's a trencher. It's digging a deep area so they can put electricity or water or something in the ground and then cover it up. The Marianas Trench in the Pacific Ocean, 7 miles deep. Huge, huge trench. And the big thing with this, tons of pressure. Think 7 miles deep, 7 miles of water stacked on top of something. You couldn't just swim there without getting squished. Kind of crazy. That is it.